Would you like your pork gassed or electrocuted? Disclaimer about this video. We're talking about the subject of animal slaughter, killing animals for food. So if that's not something you are keen on or like hearing about, please do not watch the video. I recently watched a clip online about the use of CO2 in pig slaughter in the UK. And as a farmer, as a meat eater, as a butcher, as an animal myself, it is something that doesn't sit well with me, even as a farmer. And it's something that when I used to be involved in be more involved in the pig industry, is something I mentioned a few times whilst talking to colleagues and friends and fellow farmers, that one day, if this issue is not addressed by the industry, by addressed I mean either to use a different gas, for example, an inert gas, or find another way of doing it that is more efficient, because most of it is about efficiency and money, let's be honest. A day will come when it's going to get onto the public, it's going to get in front of the public in a different form, and I don't think it's going to look good. So here we are in 2026. I've seen a few videos on YouTube of people that have gone into abattoirs and pitched cameras, and you can see what that process is like. And I would say, personally, if it wasn't for some of these videos I've seen, I wouldn't have ever seen or known what it looks like, the CO2 stunning of pigs. And I don't know if you remember, a few years back, probably over a decade now, way over a decade, there used to be a program on TV called Kill It, Cook It, Eat It, and they would follow an animal or a group of animals from the farm through to the abattoir, through slaughtering. Is like in a glass window setting. You could see it being done. The animal would get processed and then cooked up or cut up and cooked up, and people, the audience would get to share it and eat it. And I think personally that is something that potentially needs to be brought back for people to see, because I've always said, if you're a meat eater, which I am, and you can't come to terms with the fact that another animal, because we are animals too, another animal has to lose its life for you to have a meal, then you shouldn't be eating meat. And I think a lot of our society now, I would say the UK, which is where I live, a lot of our society now are quite far removed from where their food comes from, or what their, let's say in this subject, bacon or sausage, what the sausage was before it was a sausage, because it was an animal. And I think if people could grasp that concept and understand that for you to have that product on a plate, someone would have had to render this animal unconscious, then kill it, then process it, then package it, then put it on a shelf for you to go and buy, maybe these conversations wouldn't wait until there is a group of people that sneak into an establishment to slyly take a video to then show the public, say, actually, by the way, that food that you think is got this assurance or it's deemed as humane or whatever, actually this is how it gets to your table. And I think the alternative to gas stunning or CO2 stunning, aside from using an inert gas, which would be more expensive, is electric. Where we take our pigs and where a lot of other farmers take their pigs, some abattoirs use electric stunning rather than gas stunning. But as I said, because of the throughput of a plant or an abattoir or a slaughterhouse, electric is deemed slower than the CO2, which from a business perspective, you think, okay, if you can kill, let's say 100 pigs instead of 50, you would go for that because for a business model, etc., etc., etc. You bring that back to from a consumer's perspective, which as much as I'm a farmer and a butcher, I'm also a consumer. I eat meat. I could go to a supermarket and buy it, but I've got my own animals. If we weren't buying these products at the rate at which we're buying it in, then the supermarket wouldn't need to stock it at the rate they're stocking it at. Then the processing plant wouldn't need to process the pigs at the rate they're processing at. Then the abattoir wouldn't need to kill as many pigs as they're killing. And that, this is all in an ideal world, you wouldn't need a system that requires, or you wouldn't need a system that's quick in the sense of numbers wise per hour to kill to provide that many pigs. So for example, in the UK alone, per week, I think it's definitely in the thousands. I don't know the exact number for like this week, but I know over 100,000 pigs are killed per week for our consumption. Obviously, not all of it is consumed because in the UK, we tend to only eat the prime parts, so other parts get exported to other markets in the world. So as consumers, we can say, oh, I don't like that CO2 stunning. I don't like that the animals are gassed, or use all these words that are quite, what's the word? Sensationalizing, maybe. I think that's the word I'm trying to use. Yeah, we can use all these words that make it feel more emotional. Actually, not more emotional, because it is an emotional situation. Every time I take an animal to the abattoir, or times that I've slaughtered an animal, it's not just something that you do, not personally, it's not just something you do like that. So as consumers, we can point the finger at the people that do CO2 stunning or have plants that run a CO2 system, but at the end of the day, we are the people that buy this stuff at the supermarket or at the butchers or wherever. So if it was to be stopped at the end product, then there wouldn't be a demand for it. But then again, the whole thing about put your money where your mouth is, as consumers, we're very quick to point out the wrongs of something, but when it comes to following through, we don't follow through with our actions. So if we're going to say that the UK industry, pig industry, even when it comes to factory farms, as they're called, let's stop factory farming, people to eat less meat. If you eat less meat, then there wouldn't be a need to have 100,000 pigs killed per week. And trust me, no farmer would farm something that's not needed. So the farmers that have got big pig farms, farmers that have got big chicken farms, big cattle farms, big sheep farms, they're doing it because there's demand. You're not going to grow 1,000 acre of wheat if you don't have somewhere to sell it at the end. So as consumers, we need to take the onus on us or on ourselves and make the change that we want to see happen. Because I think this would just be a cycle of talking about something like CO2 stunning, which I don't agree with, hence why I take our pigs to an abattoir that uses electrical stunning, a facility that I've gone to see inside and see how things run. I've been to another abattoir before too, and I can comfortably say that our pigs go somewhere where they're at the point of which they're getting killed, they're not stressed. And yes, you could argue, oh, well, they're going to lose their life, blah, blah, blah. How can you not be stressed? But for an animal, for example, our pigs, when I go to pick them up in the field in the trailer, this is a trailer they've been in to be moved from A to B. So it's not a new thing. Secondly, an animal like a pig, if it's going to a new situation that it's never been to, it's got nothing to think that, oh, if I go here, something's going to happen. But if it was to, let's say, go into a pen and then my dog Rex is in there, Rex chases it out, it's not going to go back into that pen because he remembers that Rex chased it. But it's going to an abattoir or, a slaughterhouse where it's never been before. It's going into a pen which is calm and walks through the layerage, through the system, gets stunned, gets stuck, bled into the water tank, dehaired, blah, 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 gutted, comes through, get inspected, gets stamped, you get the probe stuck in to check how much fat it's got, into the fridge and into the lorry and to come back to us. For me, that's a fairly transparent system in my mind, that I've looked after this pig from birth to adult. I've taken it to the abattoir, I've seen it at the layerage, I've seen the system in the abattoir, and I see the animals come back and get dropped off. So when I talk to our customers, I'll say, this is what's happened to this pig, etc., etc., etc. So maybe this, again, an ideal world, maybe if we were to label on our pork products, electric is stunned or CO2 stunned, then the consumer can make a decision. But I don't think the industry are going to do that, because deep down, as an industry, and I'm going to say we because this is not us and them, because if the pig farming industry goes down, that will affect me as well. So it's in my interest for all pig farmers in the country to be seen in a good light. If we were that confident that this CO2 system is that good and we're sort of proud of how well it is, why don't we do like a kill it, cook it, eat it situation and show how it works? I don't think that will happen, because we know that it's not the perfect situation. We know we've got options. Electric is one option, but because it's not as efficient as the CO2, because we need a lot of pigs per week, enter consumer, we're not going to use that as a swap, because people are going to lose money. We know we live in a world where money runs everything. There is that option of using inert gases, which us and pigs, or you can't sense it, so the body doesn't react in stopping to breathe. Rexy, the body doesn't react to stop to breathe or to hold your breath. We know inert gases are an option. I think there's been experiments with it, but again, cost. So the ultimate question again, or another ultimate question here, is welfare only looked at when it's cost effective? And if that's the case, then as British farmers, we need to stop saying we've got the highest welfare in the world, because we can say that, but put brackets, if it costs too much, we're not going to do it. Because to me, if we're going to think about welfare, it should be welfare first. If, an example, like this country loves their pets, dogs. People spend silly amounts of money compared, let's say, somewhere like Kenya, where I grew up, for a dog. Like if a dog's got a problem or whatever, people won't blink at dropping thousands to make sure the dog's fine. That's looking after welfare for your dog. Well, most people do anyway. When it comes to farm animals, because it's a business, there's always that, oh, if I put this extra here, am I going to get it at the end? So we need to make a decision. Are we going to tell the world that we've got the highest welfare in the world, but not tell them that if it costs too much, we're not going to do it because it doesn't make business sense? Or are we just going to do something because it makes business sense? And if that's the case, let's stop saying that we've got the highest welfare in the world. So yeah, it's I think it's definitely a topic that needs more discussion. And for me, as a farmer, sometimes the initial reaction is to be defensive if I see anyone else from the outside talking about the industry. But actually, it's good to sit back and think, why are they saying that? That they're our customer, they're a consumer. Even if they don't eat meat, there's farmers that farm potatoes, they farm leeks. That's still a farmer. You still need a farmer to eat food. So it doesn't matter whether someone eats pork, beef, whatever. Farming as an industry is one. So yeah, it is good to see it being spoken about, having billboards or massive signs on the underground in London talking about how pigs are stand at the abattoir. Actually, as a farmer, I'm like, yes, let's talk about this, because it's an issue. We're going to bury our heads in the sand as much as we want, but it's something that definitely is addressing. So yeah, put your thoughts in the comments on what you think about the issue. Thanks for listening.